everyone, I've got a very special bag here. It's a mystery bag, and in our splash session today we are going to have a think about things that are made for a purpose. Now I'm going to pull something out my bag and you've got to say the name of it and what it is used for, and then you need to think of something else you could use it for. Are you ready? What's this? Do you know? It's a toy banana, that's right. And what's something else you could use it for? How about telephone? Hello? Very good. Right, let's see what's next in my bag. Let's give it a shake. Oh. What's this? It's a tissue and it's used for blowing your nose, that's right. What else could you use it for? I know. Boo. Boo. Very good. You could use it for that. You could use it as a hat. Keep the sun out. There's lots of other things you could use it for. Oh, let's have a look. Do you know what this is? It's a potato masher, that's right. And what do you use it for? You use it to mash potatoes, don't you? What else could you use it for? Oh, that's a tricky one. You shout out some ideas. Very good. You could use it as a scoop. You could scoop up stones in the garden. You could rake some sand with it. I don't know if your grown-up would be very happy with you doing that. Right, let's have a look. One last thing. What's that? Do you know? It's a biscuit cutter or a Play-Doh cutter, isn't it? And what's it used for? It's used for cutting things, isn't it? What else could you use it for? I know. You could use it with a pencil and you could draw a very, very neat circle with it, couldn't you? A potato masher is made to mash potatoes. Tissues are made to blow your nose, and God made you to show others what He is like. Every day you can show others who God is by being kind, encouraging your friends and doing your best work. Just like we're using the tissues and the potato mashers and other things in a creative way, you can be creative when you tell others about God. What are some ways that you can tell others about God? You could help your mum make biscuits for someone who's poorly, or you could make a card for somebody. Or you could play with your little brother when he's sad. Or you could invite your friends to play. Those are some creative ideas. So remember, God created you for a purpose, and every day you can change the world around you by doing what God made you to do. We're going to listen to our story and I'll be back in a second.
Hey everybody, it's me, Jacob, and today I'm here to talk to you about creativity. Creativity is imagining what you could do because you were made in God's image. There are so many different artistic ways to be creative, and today I hope to demonstrate just how creative I am in the culinary arts. Now you might be thinking, oh, hey Jacob, what are the culinary arts? And that's totally okay because I had to look it up too. I had no idea. So allow me to elucidate. I had to look that word up too. Okay. Basically, it's this. I'm making chocolate. Yes! Ugh. You see, I started thinking, I know I'm creative because I was created in the image of God. But what if drawing and sculpting and, art stuff isn't my thing? What if chocolate making was my thing, my purpose? And time for the last thing, the cocoa powder. In my research, I learned that chocolate comes from a bean that grows from the cacao tree. which technically means that chocolate's a vegetable. True story. Oh, this looks so good. Bon appetit. That is so good. I think I've really discovered what my purpose is. Chocolatey goodness. It's like in today's story. God had a purpose for a woman named Esther, and you're going to find out if she discovered her purpose before it was too late. Time to check the old recipe book. Oh, let's see. Chill for 4 hours. Chill for 4 hours. No, I'm kidding, obviously. It means to put it in the freezer. Just, duh. I had to look it up. And I spent 2 hours in the freezer before I realized that it meant the chocolate and not me. So, see you soon.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the Book of Esther.
Esther was the queen of Persia.
Wait, what? Queen?
Esther didn't become queen in the usual way. See, her father wasn't a king, and she wasn't from a noble family.
It's just me and cousin Mordecai.
In fact, Esther was Jewish. Many of God's people had been captured and brought to Babylon when their home, Judah, was conquered. Then Babylon was taken over by Persia. So Esther grew up in a land that wasn't her own. When Esther's parents died, her cousin Mordecai raised her as his very own daughter.
Always remember what our scriptures say. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love Him with all your strength.
One day, a new king named Xerxes came to power in Persia. He was so impulsive that he actually fired his queen Vashti simply for refusing to show up at a wild party.
She will never see me again.
When Xerxes had finally calmed down, he had realized he now had no queen.
I have no queen.
He would have to find a new one.
I must find a new one.
So the king decided to hold a contest. He ordered his officials to gather the most beautiful young women in the land and put them through an entire year of beauty treatments. Esther was one of those girls chosen.
Cousin Mordecai, what do I do?
Don't tell anyone you're from a Jewish family.
I have chosen my new queen. Drum roll. My new queen is Esther.
Me?
Assume the queenly royal crown. I might have to resize it.
Just as Xerxes had so impulsively switched queens, he also promoted a royal official named Haman higher than all of the other nobles in the kingdom.
Bow to me, you fools!
Haman was delighted when all of the officials outside the palace bowed low before him. When he discovered that Mordecai refused to bow, he was enraged.
You have to bow! Somebody make him bow!
Haman was so angry. He made a plan to destroy not only Mordecai, but all the Jews in the land. He laid it out for the king.
Your Majesty, these Jews live differently than everyone else. They don't obey your laws.
Fiddlesticks! That's just wrong.
Precisely. Give the order to destroy them.
Consider it done.
Xerxes agreed to the terrible decree. Messengers took the letter all over the kingdom.
Hear ye, hear ye. On the 13th day of the 12th month, all Jews are to be killed. Hear ye, hear ye.
When Mordecai and the other Jews discovered the horrible news, they dressed in rough clothing and wept bitterly. Mordecai sent a message to Esther in the palace, telling her what Haman had done.
You must ask the king to save our people.
Esther was devastated. She sent a response to her cousin.
No one can come before the king unless he sends for them. If I do it, I'll die, unless he reaches out his gold scepter to me.
Mordecai sent his answer right back.
You may not escape, even though you're queen. Who knows? It's possible that you became queen for just a time like this.
He's right. Here, tell this to Mordecai. Gather all the Jews. Don't eat anything for 3 days. I and my servants will fast too. Then I'll go to the king.
Esther faced an impossible dilemma, but she took 3 days to prepare her heart and her mind.
Bring my most beautiful royal robes.
Heart racing, Esther entered the throne room. Across the long hall, she saw the king seated high on the throne. Breathless, she waited for him to see her.
Please, please, please.
The king looked up, his dark eyes locked on Esther's face. And then he smiled. He reached out his golden scepter.
Thank God.
What is it, Queen Esther? I'll give you anything, up to half my kingdom.
Esther could have made her request right away, but she knew she would have a better chance if she made the king curious.
King Xerxes, if it pleases you, come to a feast I prepared today. Oh, and bring Haman.
Consider it done.
Esther created an elaborate feast for the king and his number 2 official.
Look at me, you peasants, invited to the queen's banquet.
At the meal, King Xerxes once again tried to discover what Esther wanted.
I'll give you anything, up to half my kingdom.
Once again, Esther held her ground and waited for the perfect moment.
I'd like you and Haman to come to another feast tomorrow. Then I'll answer your question.
The king agreed, and Haman spent the whole evening bragging to all of his friends.
You guys, the queen thinks I am the bomb.
But the second feast was a different story. As before, Esther prepared an incredible meal. Both Haman and the king were quick to dig in.
What do you want me to do for you? I'll give you up to half my kingdom.
Esther took a deep breath. Something told her this was the right moment.
Your Majesty, let me live. Please spare my people. We have been sold to be destroyed.
Haman paled and choked on his fillet, but the king's face flushed red with rage.
Who is the man who has dared to do such a thing?
Esther turned her gaze on Haman.
Haman is the one.
In a panic, Haman threw himself at the queen.
Totally didn't mean it. Please, please, please let me live.
You dare attack the queen? Take him away.
That very night, Haman was killed, and the king created a new order that would allow the Jews to be saved.
We will celebrate this day with great joy.
God had given Esther a surprising position in a foreign nation, and when the time was right, she would use all she had been given to save her people.
God always has a purpose. He had a purpose for Queen Esther when he put her in the right place at the right time to save her people. He had a purpose when he sent Jesus to pay for the sins of the world. And here's something you may not know. God made you for a purpose. It's true. Now, you may not have to save a bunch of people from total destruction. I don't know, or maybe you will. Who knows what God has planned for you? But I do know God has a plan and a purpose for your life, whether it be big or small. So think about it. What's your purpose? Is there something you like to do more than anything else? Like baking, or organizing, or juggling. Maybe what you like to do has something to do with your purpose. Or what about this? Is there something that you care about more than anything else? Like animals, or taking care of people, or keeping the planet clean? Maybe those things have something to do with your purpose. Whatever it is, here's the one thing to remember. God created you for a purpose. Actually, I think it would be safe to say purposes. Maybe it's something giant, like Esther, or maybe something simple, like chocolates. Didn't get it. So close, gonna keep trying. Yes! Purpose!
Right, so we're going to do our science experiment, and as you can see, I've drawn some flowers on a piece of paper. Now, I drew around a cookie cutter, but that's because I'm not very good at drawing. So you could draw a flower yourself, and then as you can see, I've cut a few out. Now, when I cut them out, I have made the petals a bit more distinct. Can you see? I've gone all the way in. So if you can draw a flower kind of this shape and cut it out. And then we are going to use it for our experiment. What I need you to do is fold all of the petals in like this, so we end up with this shape. Can you see I've folded them all in? Now you can draw a picture on here or write a message. It's up to you, or you can leave it plain, and then we will watch what happens when we put these in some water. Here we go. So I am back with a plate of water. I don't know if you can see that. There's some water on there. And we're going to take our flowers and we're going to pop them on the water and see what happens. Here we go. We're having a float there at the minute. Have you done this experiment before? Oh, something's happening. Can you see? starting to open, aren't they? Wowza. Now, the very sciencey among you will be able to tell me why that's happening. Oh, let's just make sure they don't get stuck together. Oh, one of them says open. So in the middle of mine, I wrote open. Let's see what this one has. Oh, here they go. Oh, I think this one's a bit stuck. Is it going to open? Might have to give it some help. Now, the reason that we've used these flowers opening today is because we want to be open to God. We want to open like those flowers and say to God, please use my gifts, the things that I'm good at, to serve you. Please help me to be open to using what I'm good at to show others that you love them. Let's have a look. This one hasn't been so good. Oh, it's a smiley face. So we've written open and we've got a smiley face. Maybe you could try that this afternoon. See if you can do some flowers that open.
Hi, it's Brenda. I've got your memory verse for you. Lord, you are great. You are really worthy of praise. No one can completely understand how great you are. Psalm 145, verse 3.